In this subchapter, we will focus on phrasal verbs that are commonly used in formal contexts, including business, academic, and professional settings. These phrasal verbs will help you communicate more effectively, particularly when presenting information, making decisions, or discussing complex issues in a structured and precise manner. The goal is to elevate your language use to a level that is not only grammatically accurate, but also sophisticated and suitable for formal settings. Many phrasal verbs are generally considered informal and are often used in everyday conversation. However, the ones that we will discuss in this section are perfectly acceptable in any formal setting, including business meetings, academic writing, and professional communication. Phrasal verbs in formal contexts are often used to convey ideas concisely and with clarity. These verbs can sometimes replace longer expressions, allowing you to communicate more directly and precisely. In professional settings, using these right phrasal verbs can help to ensure your message is just clear and impactful. So in this section, we will explore 15 advanced phrasal verbs that are essential for formal situations, ensuring your language is precise, articulate, and appropriate for a C2 level audience. Let's take a look at these phrasal verbs and their uses. To adhere to means to follow or stick to a rule, principle, or standard. All employees must adhere to the company's code of conduct. You can think of sticking closely to a guideline like glue adhering to a surface. Here again, if it works, it's not stupid. Any method is fine as long as you remember these phrasal verbs and use them. All right, let's move on. To appertain to relate or to concern something. For instance, the documents appertain to the terms of the agreement. To ascribe to means to attribute something to a cause, source, or a person. So, the success of the campaign can be ascribed to effective teamwork. A very nice sentence, very useful. All right, to disabuse of meaning to free someone from a misconception or false belief. For instance, I had to disabuse him of the idea that the project was completed. And to depart from means to deviate from a plan, rule, or standard, to be somewhat different. For instance, we cannot afford to depart from the established guidelines. All right, in this extract from a formal business report, you will find several phrasal verbs used to communicate important points, and your task is to identify 4 phrasal verbs that are used in the report. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. We are now prepared to enter upon the second phase of the new product development project, focusing on prototype development. The team has been fully engaged to engage in discussions with suppliers to ensure alignment with our objectives. To enlarge on the project scope, I've requested more detailed proposals from the team. However, it was noted that some operations offend against our environmental policies and corrective measures are being implemented. Okay, let's take a look at these phrasal verbs. To enter upon, to begin a course of action or involvement in something. To engage in means to participate in or become involved in an activity. To enlarge on or upon, to provide more details or explain something in greater depth. And finally, to offend against means to violate or breach a law, rule, or some moral code of a kind. Okay, let's move on. Some more examples. To permit of, meaning to allow or make possible. The evidence presented does not permit of any other interpretation. To pertain to something, meaning to be relevant or related to something. The terms of the contract pertain to all employees. To provide against means to take precautions or prepare for a future problem or danger. For instance, the company has taken steps to provide against potential security risks. To frown upon means to disapprove of or regard something with disfavor. For instance, the management frowns upon tardiness in the workplace. And resort to means to turn to something as a last option or solution. For instance, they resorted to hiring external consultants after the internal team failed to deliver.